Hello student, myself Digan Sakhiwala, I am your science sir. Today we will continue chapter number 14, natural resources. Dear student, we learn about the lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and by that interaction we come to know about the biosphere. Then after we learn about the wind, how the wind formation occur, we learn about how the rainfall or how the rain formation occur in the cloud. We learn about the acid rain. Today we are going to learn about the water as well as water pollution. Okay, so step by step we will start. Water, a wonder liquid. Water occupies a very large area of the earth's surface and is also found underground. So water is available on the surface of the earth as well as it is also present underground. Okay, so whenever we want to get the water, at that time we dig the soil, and by digging the soil we get the water at particular distance. Okay, some amount of water exists in the form of water vapor. Some amount of water exists in the form of water vapor. We know that for the formation of rain, we need the water vapor. So at daytime, the sunlight heat convert the water in liquid form to the vapor form, and they rises up and make the big droplets of water, and in certain condition that is fall down in the form of rain. Most of the water on Earth's surface is found in the sea and ocean in saline. Okay, so most of the water on Earth's surface is found in the sea and the ocean in saline. Fresh water is found frozen in the ice caps at the two poles and on snow-covered mountains. So fresh water is also found on the two poles, North Pole and South Pole. Okay, found frozen in the ice cap at the two poles and on snow-covered mountain. Okay, the underground water and the water in rivers, lake and ponds is also fresh. However, the availability of fresh water varies from the place to place. So water is available so many places, but water is pure or not, it depends upon the place. Okay, because most of the place on that water is now impure because of what? Human urban activity or human industrialization activity. Okay, so we cannot say that particular water is pure or it is a drinkable. So to make the water pure, we use the reverse osmosis technique. That is, in short, it is called RO system. Okay, practically every summer most places have to face a storage of water, and in the rural area where water supply system have not been installed. So in India, most of the part, or in the world also most of the part, there is no facility of storing the water, and because of that reason in the summer season many people are suffering from the lacking of water. Okay, so we have developed such a system that every part of the India, every village of the India, every small part of the India, they get the enough amount of water. Okay, by constructing the dam or by doing other type of, or by applying some other technical system. Okay, people are forced to spend considerable amount of time in the fetching water from the far away sources. So in the village area we come to know that people are going long distance to get the water because their reservoir of water are very less. Okay, so we have to do such a thing, we have to develop such a technology. By that way we can store the water for the long time as well as we can provide to the number of people. All cellular reaction within the body and within the cell occur between the substances that are dissolved in the water. So all cellular reactions are there, all biochemical reaction are there, all the physiological chemical reaction are there. They are take place due to what? Water. Substances are also transported from one part of the body to the another in dissolved form. So substance can also transport from one part of the body to the other part of the body by the water. Organisms need to maintain the level of water within their bodies in order to stay alive. So organisms are living only because of what? Because they maintain the amount of water in their body. Terrestrial life form require fresh water for this because their body cannot tolerate or get rid of high amount of dissolved salt in saline water. Thus, water source need to be easily accessible for animals and plants to survive on the land. Okay, so to get the different type of minerals, water is very important for our body. So we cannot lose somewhat amount of water from our body. Okay. The availability of water decides not only the number of individual of each species that are able to survive in the particular area, but it also decides the diversity of the life there. So water just not very useful to survive for the animal, but different type of diversity are there around the water. That is also responsible for that, also for the diversity of different type of life, for that also water is responsible. Like that, whenever water are there, then what you find, the algae is produced there, or different animals are there, like fishes are there. Okay, or different aquatic or the marine animals are there. So different type of aquatic life is also produced because of what? Water. The availability of the water as well as the temperature, nature, soil decide the sustainability of life in that water is main. Water is main, okay, for the sustainability of life. With the water, we can say that temperature, nature, soil is also decide the sustainability of life on the earth. Water pollution. So nowadays, whenever we try to get the water is what? Impure. Okay. Only reason that so much industries are developed, like dye industries develop, or we can say that the thermal industries are there which produce the electric current. So the whatever ash of the coal are there, they are sending in the water. So because of that reason, water pollution is produced. Second thing is that many farmers are using fertilizers and pesticides very roughly. So this fertilizer and pesticides are going in the ponds and river, and because of that reason eutrophication occur. Eutrophication occur means what? Some plants are developed because these fertilizer are having good amount of nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, and because of that reason the algae is produced, and when the algae is produced, it cover the pond and river. So when pond and river is covered by the algae, and most of the dissolved oxygen is taken by this type of algae and other plants, and as dissolved oxygen is reduced, the inside of the water, whatever the fishes are there or other aquatic animals are there, they cannot survive for the long time. Okay, so we will learn about the water pollution. Water pollution, water dissolve the fertilizer and pesticides that we use on our farm. Some percentage of these substances are washed into the water bodies. So fertilizers and pesticides, they are used very dangerously on high amount. So when rainfall, then they are going in the water and they are accumulated in the ponds and river, and by that way eutrophication occur. Sewage from our towns and cities and the waste from the factories are also dumped into rivers or the lakes. Okay, so sewage are there, whatever the dust material are there, what we cleaning our houses, washing clothes water are there, or when we take the bath, that water are there, that all the water is collected in the river, pond by the sewage system. Specific industries also use water for cooling in the various operation and later returns this hot water to water bodies. So many industries are there, they use the boiler, okay, to get the particular type of pressure and temperature. So after using the boiler, they send the hot water into the pond or river, and because of that reason also the so many animals are there, aquatic animals are there, their life in the danger. The water inside the deep reservoir like dam would be colder than the water at the surface which get heated by the sun. River, in that water is continuously flow, so that water is, we can say that, somewhat hot water, because what happen, water is continuously flowing, so directly heat energy fall on that. But when we store the water in the dam, then what happen, the water is become a cold. So when we open the doors of the dam, then that cold water is mixes with the somewhat hot water of the river, and because of that reason also so many problems are arise with the aquatic animals. All these can affect the life forms. It can encourage the growth of some life form and harm the some other life forms. Yeah, it has advantages are also there. Okay, that it can harm some life form, but it can support the other life form also. Okay, whenever we store the water, then we know that some other animals or some aquatic animals or plant is also develop in this type of water. So we use the term water pollution to cover the following aspect. Okay, and so for all these things we use the one word that is called the water pollution, and we will see some effect here. The undesirable substance like fertilizer, pesticide or the mercury salt are used in the paper industry. These could also be disease causing organisms like the bacteria which causes cholera. So when we use pesticide, fertilizer or we use a mercury salt in the paper industry, when it goes into water, then it causes the different type of disease like what? Cholera. Dissolved oxygen is used by the animal and plants that live in the water. Any change that reduces the amount of this dissolved oxygen would adversely affect this aquatic organism. So when the dissolved oxygen is decreases, when we add so many things like hot water or because of eutrophication, when the pesticide and the fertilizer are going into water, then more algae and some other plants are developed, that is called the eutrophication. It decreases the dissolved oxygen, and because of that reason, as dissolved oxygen is decreases, the aquatic animals like the fish, turtle or some other are there or plant are there, they cannot get oxygen in the proper amount. Other nutrient could also be depleted from the water bodies, and because of that reason other nutrients are also there, they are depleted from the water bodies. Like three are main, that is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, they are called NPK. A change in temperature, aquatic organisms are used to certain range of temperature in the water body where they live, and sudden change in temperature would be dangerous for them or affect their breeding. So when there is an increase in temperature occur in the water bodies, because of that reason their life come in dangers or it affect their breeding. The eggs and larvae of various animals are particularly susceptible to temperature changes. So because of that reason the egg and larva may have the problem, because when the temperature increase they lose that fertility. Okay, so this is all about the today's topic. We learn about the water, a wonderful liquid. Second thing, we learn about the water pollution. Thank you so much.